6.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Top 6. This week we'll be discussing the top 6 captains that have won a cup since 1980, and I don't agree with half of these results. Check it out.
Number 6.
Okay, leading off our list at number 6 is somebody that definitely deserves to be on the list, but could be a little bit of a bubble player, and it's Jonathan Toews of the Chicago Blackhawks. 3 cups in 7 years. It makes sense that they're here.
Captain serious. I'm cool with it, honestly. He'd be in my top 6, probably.
Yeah, there's a few players here that have won multiple cups over the course of a few years. Joe Sakic, Steve Yzerman, and Jonathan Toews. So we're okay with him being at number 6.
Number 5.
Okay, moving on to number 5 is someone who has to be on this list. It's Sidney Crosby, 2-time Conn Smythe winner, 3-time Stanley Cup winner, 4 Stanley Cup appearances. He took the Pittsburgh Penguin from the bottom of the table all the way to the top. Absolutely has to be on the list.
Yeah, you gotta remember he's really young too when he won it in 2009 as a captain. So, and then again coming back years later and doing it again. I think it's a big deal.
Yeah,
Conn Smythe.
Not to mention he has probably more pressure on him than anybody in the league. We know that everyone out there loves him in Pittsburgh, and that everyone else, you can kind of respect him for his play.
Hopefully.
Number 4.
Okay, we're moving on to number 4, and this is where I start to disagree or get a little angry with the list. Number 4 is Mark Messier, and I don't agree with it because I think he should be much higher up on the list. Messier is the only captain on this list that's won a cup with 2 different teams. In fact, he's the only captain to have done that since the expansion in 1967. I think this is a trait that is massively underlooked and something that deserves to have him in the 1 or 2 spot. Not to mention, he won 6 cups, New York Rangers, Edmonton Oilers in 1990 as captain, and then he won 4 cups with Edmonton in the 80s.
Yeah, talking about a guy who knows, who's been there before. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's an award named after him. The leadership award is literally named after him.
The NHL has a leadership award named after him, and on top of it, he's known as the captain or the Messiah in New York City. So I think he deserves a little more credit than the 4th spot on here. But let's keep going.
Number 3.
Moving up to number 3, we have someone who I think should be on the list, but not this high. And that's Steve Yzerman, captain of the Detroit Red Wings, who won a cup in 97 and 98 back-to-back. He brought a team out of the gutter once again, all the way up to win 2 Stanley Cups in a row. He changed his style of play to help his team win cups. And on top of it, from a leadership point, he had the Russian 5 in a time period in the NHL where Russian players were not really well known or incorporated in the league. So, ton of leadership qualities here. The only reason I didn't have him this high is because there's other names that I think need to be higher on the list, which we'll get to in a few minutes.
I'm okay with him being in 3.
Stevie Y?
Steve Y.
Stevie Wonder?
We talked about it. You talk about half the guys on that team were Canadian, and the Canadians hated the guys that were on the Russian team. So,
I wouldn't say hate. It was just weird.
I'm just saying the Summit Series wasn't that long.
Yeah, some of these guys played each other.
They brought in. He brought in cohesion.
He made them one.
That's a big deal.
We should probably give Scotty Bowman a big shout out too.
Number 2.
Number 2 is a person on this list I have a lot of respect for, but I actually didn't pick on my list, and that's Mario Lemieux. Back-to-back cups again, 91-92. Although I didn't pick him, he's a great player, but Sidney Crosby won 3 cups, and like I said before, there's other players on this list that just deserve to be here.
He split the D, man.
He did split the D.
But he split the D.
It's on the Hockey Night in Canada opening.
If you go to enter leadership class, the first thing they say is, like, if you don't split the D.
Yeah, but unfortunately that's not a prerequisite for being on this top 6. Okay, before we reveal our number 1, we want to remind you that we have top 6 and other hockey challenges weekly on HockeyAchievements.com, including our social media networks. So please give us a like, tell your friends, help us grow. It'll build bigger prizes, bigger challenges, and we'll have fun. So now it's time to reveal...
Number 1.
The top person this week on the list is... Wayne Gretzky. Now, Wayne Gretzky's an idol of my childhood. I have his books. I love watching him play. He's the greatest player of all time, and he's a great captain. But he doesn't deserve to be number 1 on this list. Wait. Let me tell you why.
¿Por qué?
See. This is why, okay? Mark Messier deserves to be number 1 on this list for a lot of reasons, but primarily, he's the only captain since '67 to win with 2 teams. We said this before. No one else has done it. It's a tremendous leadership quality to bring 2 teams that needed a Stanley Cup. First time after Gretzky left, second time after a team that had not won since 1940.
Plus, again, like, just the award's named after him.
Yeah, it's kind of an obvious one.
Your name on the list, girl. It's all on the trophy.
It's not true.
It is not.
All right, the other thing, too, I have to say this. How is Dennis Potvin not on this list? The guy won 4 cups in a row captaining the New York Islanders from 80 to 84. He's the only captain on the list to do that. He should be a number 1 or number 2 spot. Easy.
He doesn't have the name recognition.
That's possible.
It's Gretzky's name.
Like,
it's Potvin.
Maybe this is educational for some people, but Dennis Potvin has to be on your list. It has to be there. Okay, let's review. Number 1, Wayne Gretzky of the Edmonton Oilers. Number 2, Mary Lemieux, Pittsburgh Penguins. Number 3, Steve Yzerman from the Detroit Red Wings. Number 4, Mark Messier of the Edmonton Oilers and the New York Rangers. Number 5, Sidney Crosby of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And finalizing the list, number 6, Jonathan Toews, the Chicago Blackhawks. Those are your picks. That's based on the votes that you sent in. We don't agree. We want you to disagree or agree. Comment above, below, to the left, or the right, whatever you're on social media or HockeyAchievements.com. Be heard. Let us know what you think. Keep this discussion going. It's the offseason. We know we need it. Also, the new Top 6 launches right now on HockeyAchievements.com and on social media. The new Top 6 is going to be Top 6 Conn Smythe Trophy winners since 2002. We think this is going to stir up a lot of debate. Everybody seems to hate that Crosby won it back-to-back. So let us know who you think the Top 6 Conn Smythe Trophy winners are since 2002. So that's going to do it for this episode of
Top 6.
Every time.